And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today we're talking about the Washington Commanders and their game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I thought that this was a great article to take a look at. This was on Commanders Wire. And they're just saying, like, hey, did the Washington Commanders in this loss, does it show you that they need some more wide receivers to go along with Terry McLaurin? And I think that yes, I think that even though the Washington Commanders have played well, it's been a resurgent year. You can definitely tell that this franchise is going in a different direction. I think certainly you could maybe make an argument for Jaden Daniels being the rookie of the year. Yes, I think that he does need more additions in the wide receiving game. And so, not to take anything away from Noah Brown, I think that he's done a terrific job coming over from the Houston Texans. And I believe he played with the Dallas Cowboys too. But look, Noah Brown has done a great job. He's made some great catches. He's drawing some pass interference and things like that. And we just really haven't got a chance to see too much from Luke McCaffrey. I think that, he looks like he could become a very good wide receiver. Hopefully he takes another step at some point during this season. Definitely by the next year, you want to see him take those steps. And Zacchaeus, look, he's another veteran like Noah Brown. He's made some plays for us. And I certainly think that he's definitely helping out this wide receiving core. But yes, the Commanders would definitely need to go out and get another wide receiver. I think that would definitely help to get more of a dynamic attack for this offense. It's going to open it up. You're not going to be able to shade coverage over to Terry McLaurin as much. And you just know what you have if you get a legit number two wide receiver. And it talks about T. Higgins. And so if you were watching Sunday night football, excuse me, against the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Chargers, you see just how good T. Higgins is when he's healthy, he's locked in and everything else. And so, look, he's 25, he's playing on a franchise tag. And I certainly think that, yes, he would be a terrific fit for the Washington Commanders. But here's the thing about going out and getting a player like T. Higgins, with this new front office, you have to ask yourself, is this front office willing to pay a whole bunch for a big marquee free agent like that? Like, I don't know if this front office is really shown that. I think that this front office is more really concerned with going into the NFL draft and finding prospects like that. Now, at 25 years old, I think that with T. Higgins, I think he does still fit your timeline with Jaden Daniels. Absolutely. I think that, he's got at least another 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, in prime time. So, yeah, I think that he does fit that, but it's just how much are you going to go out there and pay T. Higgins? Because there's still a lot of other things that this team needs to address. Because, when you're talking about did this game really highlight some major things that the Commanders need, I think that it definitely highlights what they need on the defensive end. Like, they still need to get some legit edge rushers and things like that that can get home. They still need to get maybe a little bit more, I think, help up front as far as just generating more pressures and certainly getting into the backfield and stopping these running backs before they get started. So I would say that. Obviously, I think maybe a linebacker would be another thing too as well, because I know that Bobby Wagner's playing. I think on a year contract. You have Frankie Louvu, he's there, but I don't know how much longer is Bobby Wagner going to be there. So yes, they do need to get maybe some linebacker help, and then cornerback play. I think that we certainly can go with that because yes, we do have Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to be healthy at some point, but then you have St. Juste over here. And I believe that St. Juste is going to be fine. I believe that he's going to get even better of a boost once he starts working with Marshawn Lattimore. And I think that Mikey Sanders still has done very well back there. But I think we absolutely could really add another corner that could be a lockdown corner or safety back there. So, I mean, I think that there's a couple other needs that the Washington Commanders could use. And I think that it's more so on the defensive end than it is the offensive end because Jaden Daniels has shown me that he can figure it out. And we have enough playmakers right now to where we can get it done. It's just, I think defensively, that's going to be the real challenge for this Washington Commanders team. Now, I will say this. The Washington Commanders defense, they've been heating up, and I love that about them. They're really starting to click, and I think it is more so just now that everybody's there, they've got a chance to really understand what Bobby Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn they're trying to do with this system. It's starting to click because the Washington Commanders they had maybe one of the highest turnovers in all the NFL this past offseason. So, I mean, they just completely revamped this roster. And so I'd have to think that, and I've said this before, that as you learn you need to lose games before you learn how to win games. And I think that these games are important for the Washington Commanders because you're learning, okay, this is not going to work. We got to do something different. And this is the type of team that they seem like they process it, they understand it, and they know how to move on from this and really gain what they need to gain moving into the next week. And so I think the Commanders are going to be fine if we're talking about, hey, they need to add a wide receiver right now. I don't think that that's necessarily the case. And I think that you don't have to necessarily go out there and I'm going to say break the bank to go out and get, a wide receiver that you need that's going to command a whole bunch of money. I think maybe they might be able to get it done in the draft class. That's just my personal opinion. And you still have Luke McCaffrey, who might become a pretty good player for this team. And so I think defensively, that is what they need to focus on. And so before we jump out of here, I wanted to talk about one last thing, and I want to talk about maybe some Pro Bowlers for the Washington Commanders. This is an article that I saw that was on Washington Commanders on Sports Illustrated by David Harrison. And he was talking about just how good Austin Eckler has been in the return game and how he might be a sleeper for being a Pro Bowl player. And I think that he's right on with that. Look, 14 kicks for 434, 31 yards per return with a long of 62. I think he's doing his thing there. And I love the fact that he's done a great job offensively too. I think that just being a running back that's played behind Brian Robinson Jr., I think that he absolutely can be a Pro Bowler, especially if he starts to get into the end zone some more. And I think that that is a real possibility because Brian Robinson Jr., well, he's been injured with the knee and the hamstring, so there might be some more opportunities for him to get there. Another sleeper that he talks about is Dante Fowler Jr., and I think that he has done a terrific job. He highlights that he's generated 8.5 sacks, which is third most in the NFL, and so that is pretty good. And also, too, 17.7 as far as a QB pressure rate is ninth amongst all defenders as well. So he's really getting it done. And I think that, yes, if you can defend like this and continue to defend like this, I think he's going to have multiple opportunities. And so, yes, I could see both of these players being Pro Bowlers. And so let me know in the comments what you think about this recent news with the Washington Commanders. Do you feel like either of those players are Pro Bowlers? And do you feel like the Washington Commanders do have to go out there and address the wide receiving core immediately? So anyway, let me know in the comments. This is Rico. This is Washington Commanders Insider. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.